What are your first impressions off of that one?
Well, I think I put that in the category of, win ugly. It's just one of those games. We knew whenever you have some guys out, guys are going to step up and play, and they know they're short on bodies, so they have the freedom of playing with no pressure. We expected that effort, and I thought from the bulk of the first half, especially on the glass, I think they outworked us. And it's just the loose balls, the 50-50 balls. We didn't come up with them. The second chance points, points in transition. Although on the box it doesn't say quite that many, they got behind us in transition quite often. We didn't have that urgency to get back and get our defense set, which it bothered us.
How tough was their zone and whatever it was?
They played zone the whole game.
Yeah, just how tough was it to solve?
I didn't think it was that difficult. I think once again we had some careless turnovers. Thankfully, most were dead ball, but still those are wasted possessions. But I thought we generated some good offense against zone most of the night.
Kristaps Porzingis said that he was surprised to see the zone. Were you surprised not only to see the zone, but to see them carry it through the game like that?
Well, we knew we were going to see it. We didn't know we were going to see it for the bulk of 48 minutes.
Right.
They're one team that they throw everything at you. Full court pressure, zone. At times they're going to blitz Brad and try and take him out. They junk it up a lot. So we knew going in we'll see some variety at some point. But when we found out they were going to be down a few bodies, the likelihood of them playing more zone was almost 100%.
And then the team was down 5 late in the regulation segment of the game. What was it about the resilience and the mentality down the stretch to push to overtime and then to sustain that and win?
Well, I think just playing with a little bit more poise. We executed and guys stepped up, made big plays on both sides. Second half, hold that team that 37 points, including overtime. I believe 25% from the field is pretty good. And regardless of who they have out there, they have some shooting, they have some weapons. They do a terrific job of moving from one action to the next. So they put a lot of pressure on you to make sure you're locked in, you're not giving up separation. So we did some good things.
What made you go to Gibson?
Just needed a change of energy. That's all. We see that every day in practice, and the thought was, even against the zone, he's a, pretty solid playmaker. From the elbows inside the paint, he's going to rebound, he'll screen, and defensively he's going to just be a little bit more aggressive. I think his style of play, whether they're fouls or not, he's an aggressive defender. And he caused some havoc out there.
7 turnovers for Brad. Was that a matter of him still knocking off the rust, or is there something that maybe they did to force those?
I'd have to look at the film. I would think it's more rust. I think the vast majority of the turnovers were just errant passes or, just not on time, on target. Of course we know you got to pass around the defender. We were passing through hands, and that caused a few turnovers, but in general, I would say most of them were controllable.
Who convinced you to challenge that foul that Taj was whistled for?
Ryan Lumpkin is the guy who's in charge of the challenges, so we have a lot of faith in him. No one's ever 100% right, but you go with your gut, and he made the call, and he's tasked with doing that. So when he says challenge it, I challenge it.
What was going through your head when you took that shot at the end of the fourth quarter?
About damn time. I finally hit a shot. I just wanted to just continue to shoot. I knew that, I'm always in the mentality of get rich, die trying. So, if you, miss 10, just keep shooting. Eventually it'll fall if you trust it. And I put a lot of work in and just believed in my jump shot, and finally just paid off for me at the right time.
When it left your hands, did you know it was good?
That one I knew that was good. Yeah. Well, only that one though. That's about it.
Kuz, the final play of overtime, was Taj where was he on the option?
The final when he shot the ball. I mean, it's always about at the end of the game, you know, find the best shot, you know. And he caught the ball. He was right in the middle of their zone. Turned around. I mean, I thought it was good. It was a great shot. Mr. Make. You know, Taj came in, and I mean, Taj really won the game. You know, obviously, you know, hit the shot, not there, whatever. But Taj coming in the game really just changed it, because we were in a point where they were getting offensive rebounds, and with the lineup that they had out there, it was a little bit easier to play Taj and KP out there at the same time, and it paid off. Didn't score, but had 8 rebounds and huge defensive stops too.
Can you explain to me why it was easier against those guys to play Taj and KP?
Well, just the lineup that they had out there. I think they had Robinson. He was out there, so it was easy for KP to guard. And then Highsmith, you know, he's kind of more like a 4-man, so Taj could be out there and guard him. And, you know, just paid off right time, and Wes made a great adjustment and helped us win the game.
Kyle, because you guys were playing against a team that only had 7 guys, do you think that the game shouldn't have been as close as it was?
Well, these games are trap games. These games are harder than the regular games, you know, from a standpoint of, and you saw it with us in Dallas, right? You know, when you don't have your best couple players, it gives everybody else, you know, just less pressure on their shoulders just to go out and just hoop and just do whatever. And, I mean, you see how tough it is to win in this league. And everybody in this league is talented. They didn't have Jimmy. They didn't have Bam. They didn't have Tyler Hero, probably Gabe Vincent, some other guys, Oladipo. But those guys, they come in, they play hard, they make shots, and they gave us a run for our money.
How'd you guys figure out the zone defense? It seemed like it gave you guys trouble until like the fourth quarter. What was the key to solving that outside of shooting?
Well, Miami's an interesting team. You know, they're 3rd in the league in defense with no rim protection. It's really, honestly, phenomenal how Spo just does a great job of, you know, just squeezing the entire lemonade out of every roster he's ever really had, and he does a great job of just, you know, teaching these guys, you know, that zone and how to just operate within it. So it's very tough because it's unorthodox, and only, you know, maybe 2 teams actually really play consistent zone, really only them. So it's really tough when you don't really prepare for it that much. But we got a great look at it, and then we play them in a week back to back. So, you know, this is a great time for us to look at this film and how we can be better.
Brad, how did you guys flip the script defensively at halftime?
First, I want to praise my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I mean, Coach lit a little fire up under us at halftime. Kind of got into our groove a little bit, and we knew we had to be better. We weren't defending at all the way we knew we were capable of. I think we gave up almost like a 40-point quarter, first and second quarter, and it just wasn't us. You know, they were pushing and attacking, and didn't matter who was on the floor for them. All things we knew before the game, we came out on our heels, but we did a good job. Coach lit us up at half. We came out and responded.
What did the boost that Taj Gibson gave you guys mean to the team?
It was awesome, man, because, you know, Taj is our OG. You know, he keeps everybody engaged, locked into the game. He makes sure that guys are on the bench, they're ready to go when they come in. And, I mean, it was a testament to what he preaches, you know, him just being ready tonight, you know. True vet, great screener, and just played the game the right way. You know, he was everywhere, actively, defensively on the boards, just making the right plays, man, and, you know, it was good to be able to have him out there.
What's up, Bill? First one for you is, what did you see from a mental toughness aspect from the team tonight?
It was great, you know, because Miami ran a janky zone, so it kind of threw us off offensively. And the sick part about it is they ran it the whole game. You usually don't see that the whole game. So, you know, that kind of threw us off. But for us to stay engaged and just continue to fight it and just continue to push, even though, we were down 10 and it was looking ugly for a minute. we just stayed engaged. We stayed locked in and fought through the adverse times. So mental toughness in this aspect was definitely great to see. But we still got to be better, man. We can't do that against a team who doesn't have the majority of their guys out there.
And Gil was talking to us beforehand. He just talked about your relationship with him here tonight. Just can you talk about how special that was to see him out there?
It was great. You know, I always grew up watching Gil. I was a huge fan of him. Just his approach to the game, his killer instinct mentality. You know, so it was a pleasure to be in his presence tonight. Karan, we always see Karan 4 times a year in Miami, so it's always good to see him too and see him celebrated properly back in D.C. And Twan, we have in our front office, we see him all the time too. So it's good to be able to embrace all those guys. Gil playing my position, you know, somebody I always admired. And just his work ethic and his approach to the game was just admirable, you know. So it was good to be able to see them get their flowers tonight.